The unexamined life is not worth living. That is a famous quote from Socrates, a well known Greek philosopher. The unexamined life is not worth living. That is a question that you want to ask yourself. Have the life that you have been living, has it been re-examined? Because if it hasn't, then that life is not worth living. Reinvention after 50 starts by re-examining the unexamined life. My friends, thank you for joining this live. Today we will be breaking down the reinvention after 50. My name is Soto. I am a body mind wellness coach. And on this channel, we learn about reinvention, resetting your mindset. We do that through the practice of fitness, of mindset, of meditation, spirituality, and coaching. So, this conversation is for anyone that's in their 50s and beyond. You're thinking, how am I going to create a new life? Maybe you're at a standstill and you're struggling on the life that you have currently and then the life that you truly want to create. And there's a disparity. There's something happening here because you're in the gap. And that quote from Socrates, the unexamined life is not worth living, it's really a quote for you to put your new glasses on of reinvention. Have that life that you're living now, was that created by someone else's vision for you? Were you influenced by someone, by an event that you're now living a life that you know deep down inside is not worth living? And if that's the case, I have phenomenal news for you. Because at 50, you get to start all over. I want you to think about this. If you're in your 50s and beyond, here's what you have for you as an vantage point on how to create something new. One, you made it this far, so congratulations, high five, right? Here's the second part. The trajectory of your life, everything that has happened, the good, the bad, the ugly, the mistakes, the blunders, the trials, the tribulations, the falling down, the getting up, all that is raw material for you to start creating a new life. And that new life is being created by your new identity. Now, the raw material to create that new identity is with all the life lessons that you have. Because the life lesson, what they give us is wisdom. What they give us is opportunities to do it again. Because if you don't take responsibility for what happened in the past, then it's very hard to start creating something in the future. Now, here's the other part that I want to break down for you if you're someone that tells people and also tells yourself, well, what do you expect? This is the way I am. I've been this way 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. I'm never going to change. I'm going to break that limiting belief and that false statement because neuroscience states, and this is like well known studies and is a fact, that your brain at any age can learn something new as long as you have a willing student to learn something new. You see, because your brain is moldable like water, it's called neuroplasticity, meaning how you were raised, your fixed way of doing things. And when it's time for you to learn a new skill, learn a new hobby, a new language, anything that you are curious about, that false belief of I cannot change, this is who I am, neuroplasticity says you can. Because the only thing it takes is someone to be willing to learn something new, to practice, to make mistakes, to reset, start all over, and then do it again. Because when you do that, you're now creating a new neural net in your brain, new synaptic connections that over time starts to create a new belief, which it leads me into reinvention after 50. One of the things you must alter and break is going from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. Very simple. A fixed mindset is someone that believes if they try something and it doesn't work out, that means it wasn't for them. That's a fixed mindset. Here's the opposite. A growth mindset is an individual that knows is going to try something because he or she is curious, is going to go through the process of learning, of making mistakes, but it's not going to give up. In other words, anytime you try something new, instead of you beating yourself up, you're going to praise yourself because it's a process of growth, of evolution, of getting yourself out of this static way of living. That's what you want to look at. Are you operating from a fix and a growth? Now, we're in a state of reinvention. And maybe the life that we have been living, and let's just say it wasn't examined, right? It was someone else's way of telling us we should live this way. And now that life is starting to fall apart. The relationship that you've been in for a long time, maybe it's starting to disintegrate. And it's like, wow, who am I without this relationship? Your job that you've been loyal and focused, all of a sudden now you get a layoff, or you just might want to try something new because it's sucking the life out of you. The reinvention occurs when you try to block out this part of you that wants to evolve, this part of you that is being pulled to do something different. And that part of you is intrinsic. You can't shut it off like a light switch. You can't say, well, this is too far-fetched. I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to listen to everyone else and I'm just going to stay in the status quo. I'm just going to suffer. I'm going to be unfulfilled in my unexamined life. That's one choice. But right now, this reinvention after 50, Mel Robbins spoke about it on her podcast. This is the year of reinvention, of transformation, the decade, the time that people in their 50s are doing incredible things. They're starting brand new careers, brand new relationships. They're like thinking out of their comfort zone and they're breaking down this old paradigm of what 50-year-olds used to be like. Because think about it, right? When we're growing up, our parents, when you hear somebody say, I'm 50, I'm 56, I just turned 58 2 weeks ago. When you're young, when you're like 7 and 8, you're like, wow, that's old. My friends, 50s is a new 30. Here's the beautiful part about it. When you're in this beautiful age, you do whatever you want to do. And you really had enough time to develop yourself, your core beliefs, right? Your standards, raising your standards and saying, hey, maybe back then this was allowed. I could tolerate it. But now I don't got time for that. And you don't. And I'm going to tell you why. Life is precious. 50, let's just say you lived half of your life. And you have like another 30, 40 years to go. Now, here's the question. Are you going to live those 30, 40 years unexamined? Are you going to pause and say, hey, maybe he's right? Have I really examined this unexamined life? Or you're going to now know that everything is on your side. There's testimonies. There's people just like you at your age creating something new. So if those people could do it, why can't you? What's the difference between them and you? And I'm going to tell you the difference. The difference is that they are tired of feeling tired. They are tired of feeling unmotivated, waking up status quo, no energy, no passion, nothing to work towards. When you start to create this new life, you're now going to tap into vitality of inspiration, creativity. You start connecting to that childlike person that you used to be, the person that used to visualize, used to imagine what life will look like. And reinvention is the start. Now, as you start this journey of reinvention, there's a couple of things that you want to be aware of. And we're going to leave it at that. Here's number one. As you start the journey of creating this new identity, realize that the old identity, the person that you have invested so much time and energy in being, is going to try its best to hold you down. And when it does that, it's very easy for you to be convinced that this is not for you. That's one option. Second option is once you make the decision that you're ready to reinvent yourself, get excited, and know that the old self, the old identity, will try its best to bring you down. And here's where you have to have the courage and the confidence in yourself to say, I raise my standards and I'm going to do this no matter what. The moment you do that, providence takes over. Universal energy, synchronicities, connections. You get to start now, rearrange, recreate this new life, even though you have an old one occurring now. And as you're in that gap, we're now going to create a bridge on how to go from here to here. That's part one. Part two is, in order for you to now really start coloring that new life, you got to create new habits, behaviors, excuse me, beliefs. These new ways of being will now give you that content to start creating this new context of yourself, this new identity. Your old beliefs, your habits, your behaviors, that created your unexamined life. Now that you're examining the life, you have to create new habits, new behaviors, new beliefs, and most of all, a new environment. Because the environment will pull you back to who you used to be. And the last part is really looking at your mindset, looking at your perspective of life. I want you to picture your way of seeing things the way they are. And your perception is made up of your experiences that you have had in this precious life. And those experiences are now mirrored in this paradigm of this is the way this person told me I should live. This is who I am, and I can't change that. And this paradigm, right? This paradigm is kind of like barriers that you've been moving like this. They're railings. Anytime you get excited, boom, you get back. Reinvention is about this. Old paradigm stepping into a new paradigm. That's a paradigm shift. And in that shift, you get to reset your mindset. My friends, if this message resonated on a deeply level, and maybe you're here live watching it or you're watching the replay, I want you to really take this time to re-examine that unexamined life. Just really just ask yourself, was I part of that? That, just the asking is going to create more clarity. And if you're ready to now create, reinvent a new self and create a new identity that in the next 3, 6, 12 months, you will be unrecognizable. I want you to click the link below in the description. It's a link to book a discovery call for me. And this discovery call, we are going to re-examine that unexamined life. And we're going to ask deeper questions about who you want to be, what you want to create, and how you want to live the rest of your life in your 50s, 60s, and beyond. This is your opportunity to ask yourself, if the student is ready, the teacher appears. So now I'm the teacher, and I'm asking you, is my student ready to reinvent themselves? Have an awesome day, and I will see you in my next video.